Just changing the camera. Okay, and today we are starting, get this situated, 217, which is still inequalities, but we're now dealing with it from word problems, okay? And we have to write the inequalities ourselves. Okay, so we'll start with that. So we have 7 more than 3. So more than is going to give me plus. It doesn't say is more than, so this is not the inequality. It doesn't say is more than, it's just more than. So that's showing addition. 3 times, so it's going to be multiplication, a number, is greater than. There's that word is. This is where it tells me that's where the inequality symbol is, 34. So I have 7 more than. So the word than, remember that tells me I've got to flip the order. So it's going to be plus 7. 3 times a number, so that's going to be 3x or 3n. Okay. So I'm going to let x represent the number. So I'm going to have 3x plus 7 is greater than, so it's greater than 34. There's my inequality, and now we solve it. So we would have, and have 3x plus 7 is greater than 34. And now we solve. So I'm going to subtract 7. We follow just the same rules that we've been doing for last week. Subtract 7. This zeroes out, bring down the 3x. So I have 3x is greater than 27. Divide by 3. Now I'm dividing by a positive, so I don't have to worry about that inequality symbol. The 3's cancel, and I end up with x is greater than 9. There's my answer. Okay, moving right along, let's jump down to number 5. And some of these I'm just going to go over writing the inequality, okay, because we practiced solving. You've done that all of last week. Okay, so it says 10 subtracted from. There's that word from. That means that this 10 is being flipped and going to the back, okay, and it's subtracting, so therefore I'm going to have minus 10. And then it says the quotient. That means I'm doing division. The quotient of a number and -3. And I read this as I read from left to right. So a number comes first. So therefore, remember, I'm going to let x represent a number, or you could use n. It's your choice. So I'm going to have x over -3 minus 10 is at least, there's my inequality symbol. Remember, is at least that means the smallest it can be is -1. That means all of this has got to be bigger than or equal to -1. It's the opposite of what it sounds like when it's the inequality symbols, when it says at least, at most. Those are the opposite. And now you would solve it, but we're not going to. I'm just going to move on to writing another one so we can have that exposure a little bit more for practicing writing. Y'all practiced solving last week. Okay, looking at number 7. It says a number decreased by, so we have a number, that's my let x is going to be the number, okay, decreased by, so that's subtraction, 19. So a number decreased by 19. The comma right there, that is my symbol that it's all divided by 6. That's my symbol. All of it's got to be divided by 6. So I have to write n minus 19 all over -6. Or if I don't do it that way, I've got to put the n minus 19 in parentheses and then do the -6. And I would put that -6 in parentheses so that you know that that's a negative, not subtraction. And then it says is no more than. Remember when it says no more than, that's the opposite. So this is going to be less than or equal to 5. Less than or equal to 5. These are those two options for the way this can be written. Okay, now we're going to move on to just true application word problems, not to where it's just a sentence. So moving to the next page, onto the back. If I look at number 10, okay, it says the Parkview Middle School football team will be playing in the state championship. The coach has free tickets that he will be distributing to his 52 football players to give to their friends and family. Okay, if you would like to give each player at least 3 tickets, that's the inequality symbol. That's the end of my thing. I can know right now, at least, that means that's the opposite. So therefore, that's the smallest amount. So therefore, it can be greater than or equal to 3. We want to know how many total tickets must he have. So we're looking for the total. My question is, how many total tickets? So I'm going to let X, you have to have your define the variable statement. Let X equal total tickets. Well, we're going to have the total tickets. How would I get to 3? I'm going to have to take the total and divide by the 52 players. So we would have X divided by 52. And now we continue to solve. Oh, it's dividing, so I'm going to multiply by 52 on both sides. Those cancel out and become a 1. So I now have X is greater than or equal to 3 times 52. If I don't know what that is, I'm over here doing that math. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. So that's 156. Now I've got to talk about what this means. That's the answer, yes, but I've got to describe this in words. So this means he's got to have a minimum of 156 tickets. Since it's a word problem, you have to have this description of what is the answer describing. Okay, next example. Looking at number 12. It says, Caitlin works a part-time job at the bookstore, which pays $55 a week. That means each week she gets paid $55. She has already saved $120 towards the purchase of a new iPad, a new $450 iPad. How many weeks? So we're looking for how many weeks must she work in order to have more than, so we want more than the amount of money to buy the iPad, because she's got to buy the case and all kinds of other stuff too. Okay, so we want more than the 450. All right, so first we label our variable. Let X equal the number of weeks worked. The number of weeks worked. So we know we need more than 450. So therefore it's got to be, all of this is how she makes the money. This side has to be bigger than 450 because we want it to end up bigger than that. Okay, so how does she make that up? Well, we know she gets paid $55 a week. That means multiplication. We're doing 55 times the number of weeks. So I'm going to have 55x, because we always write the number in front of the variable when we want to show multiplication, not x 55. It's 55x. And then we know she's already saved 120. So that's symbolizing addition. So we have plus 120. And there's my equation. So this is part 1, part 2, and now we solve. So we subtract 120. And that zeroes out. We bring this down and we have 55x is greater than 330. And now we divide by 55. And if we don't know that right off, we're over here doing that division. I'm thinking that's going to be about 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Carried my 3. Yep, 33. So that's 0. So yes, we end up with x is greater than 6. Well, what does that mean? She has to work more than 6 weeks. And there's my answer. Please make sure that you ask questions if you have any questions as you're finishing up these notes for today's assignment. Tomorrow you will finish the classwork homework. Have a great day.